Have you ever wondered why your mere presence seems to overwhelm others, even when you're not making any effort? This question opens the doors to the mysterious universe of the chosen ones, individuals who, by their very essence, stand out from the crowd. They are people who exude an air of mystery, possessing unique characteristics that represent both a gift and a burden. In the realms of spirituality and legend, the chosen ones are often seen as those touched by something divine. However, their journey is marked by loneliness and incomprehension. This foray into their world explores the delicate balance between their powerful essence and the isolation that inevitably accompanies it. The main reason why the chosen ones find themselves immersed in loneliness is rooted in the intensity of their presence. When they enter a room, the atmosphere transforms, charged with an electrifying energy. Attention is captured without a single word being spoken. The overwhelming presence of the chosen ones, imbued with an almost supernatural energy, goes beyond simply occupying space. It alters the very essence of interactions, intertwining threads of intensity in each exchange. This magnetic and imposing energy acts as a beacon, drawing those present with the promise of depth and authenticity. However, as they approach, they encounter a force that transcends mere reality, a powerful essence that pulses with the raw purity of the universe. This uncontrollable intensity shakes the core of those who encounter it, triggering a visceral reaction between admiration and discomfort. The aura of the chosen ones, filled with the wisdom accumulated over the ages and the strength of countless narratives, cannot be extinguished or disguised. It shines like a beacon in the turbulent waters of human interaction, guiding but also warning. People are instinctively drawn to the source, but find themselves unprepared for the flood of emotions it stirs within them. The presence of a chosen one not only enlightens but also permeates, reaching the most hidden corners of being to awaken fears and desires that lay dormant. Such a significant impact, as a demonstration of the chosen one's potency, is a reflection of their unique nature and the burden they carry, instigating a feeling of fragility in others, inducing them to seek refuge in the comfort of the ordinary and the trivial. This retreat is not limited to the physical aspect, but also encompasses the emotional and spiritual dimensions, as individuals confront the epiphanies triggered by the presence of the chosen one. The emerging fear is twofold. Not only is the unknown feared, but also a sharp disturbance in the face of someone whose essence reflects the inner abysses of others. This involuntary reflection, powerful enough to expose weaknesses and fears, prompts an instinctive retreat. Individuals confronted with the greatness of this aura feel diminished. Their spirits waver in the face of the chosen one's undeniable strength. Such a phenomenon is not an intentional manifestation of supremacy, but a spontaneous radiation of their essence, a radiance so vibrant that it can relegate the chosen one to solitude, even when surrounded by many. The outcome is a paradoxical experience in which the chosen one's profound ability to establish connections and promote transformations is precisely what leads to their isolation. Therefore, the chosen one treads a path of isolation, their journey marked by the deep scars of those who approached but fearful retreated. We live in a universe where the splendor of their existence, though luminous, often illuminates paths that few choose to follow. The second reason for the chosen one's isolated path originates from their inherent preference for the sacredness of solitude or the restricted companionship of a select circle, where the essence of their being can be authentically valued and understood. Such a conscious choice is not guided by aversion to large gatherings, but by a keen understanding of the discordance that often emerges in these contexts. In the deafening tumult of the crowd, the intimate resonances of the Chosen One, vibrating with the knowledge of ancestors and the silent whispers of the cosmos, become entangled. Their sacred truths dissipate in the mundane exchange of courtesies. It is in the serenity of solitude or the comfort of reserved gatherings that their spirit can take flight without being stifled by the demand to moderate their nature to conform to social norms. The discomfort and alienation that arise in bustling environments of large social gatherings emanate from a fundamental disconnection in vibrational frequencies. The Chosen Ones operate in a range that seeks depth, sincerity, and meaningful connections, attributes often overshadowed by superficial exchanges that prevail in large congregations. Under such conditions, their attempts to establish authentic bonds encounter perplexity and discomfort, as their intensity and depth unsettle those not ready for such profound interactions. Aware of this mismatch, the Chosen Ones perceive the rise of barriers of incomprehension around them, while their efforts to connect on a level that goes beyond the trivial are met with courteous smiles that conceal latent unease. This isolation transcends mere physical distance, constituting a protective fortress they build around their core. It is a deliberate choice to preserve their vitality and ensure the purity of their spiritual journey, recognizing that the true value of their influence is best revealed in environments where it can be fully embraced and revered. Thus, the Chosen Ones navigate the social landscape with a discerning heart, turning to spaces and beings that resonate with their own vibration. In the sacredness of voluntary retreat, or in the company of a few Chosen Ones, they discover the freedom to spread their profound insights and radiate their light without restraint, knowing that there they are understood, cherished, and above all, recognized for their true essence. The third reason why the Chosen Ones find themselves isolated amidst the crowd stems from the complex interplay between fear and fascination that they inevitably evoke in others. This dichotomy weaves an intricate veil of social dynamics around them. Such duality is not merely reactive, but a penetrating reflection of the human psyche's reaction to the extraordinary. The Chosen One is a paradox, a beacon whose splendor both attracts and dazzles, a mirror whose clarity unveils and unsettles. Their aura magnetizes, emanating a powerful charisma that is as challenging as it is admirable, imbued with an essence and authenticity that transcends fleeting charm. It is this depth that seduces people, an invisible bond that captivates the essence, offering the promise of deep intertwining and an understanding that resides at the core of human desire. However, as they approach, they are confronted with the full intensity of the Chosen One's nature, a force so overwhelming that it threatens to shatter the fantasies upon which many anchor their existences. The clash with the raw reality of their selves, mirrored through the Chosen One's gaze, triggers a primal terror. The fear of being recognized for their true identity, of having the deepest layers of their soul exposed, of facing the darkness they have struggled so hard to conceal. This fear, both powerful and instinctive, often supersedes the initial fascination, prompting a retreat to the comfort of the familiar, where the complexity of such a deep bond can be bypassed. The consequence of this duality is a tangle of social relationships, where the Chosen One is simultaneously sought after and avoided, an enigmatic being who is both exalted and feared. Such contradictory existence engenders a loneliness that is imposed as much as it is voluntary, as the Chosen One quickly realizes that the depth of connection they crave and offer is too intense for most to bear. Therefore, they find themselves traversing an isolated path, not by choice, but by necessity, as they navigate a world magnetized by their radiation, but fearful in the face of the truth it unveils. The fourth reason that distinctly outlines the solitary journey of the chosen ones is the steep challenge they face in forging authentic bonds. This struggle does not arise from a lack of longing for companionship, but from the extraordinary depth and vigor that constitute the pillars of their existence. The chosen ones, by their essence, are entities of intense vigor, whose souls resonate with echoes of ancient wisdom and truths that transcend the trivial. Their quest for true connections is a yearning for reflections that can capture this intensity, for souls that do not shy away from the fervor of their flame, but conversely are drawn to it, willing to share in the light and warmth they emanate. However, such bonds are exceptional, as rare as the chosen ones themselves. Scarcity does not result from chance, but is the fruit of the unique gifts of vigor, genuineness, and depth that characterize them. Engaging with a chosen one at the level they aspire to and provide means embarking on an expedition that demands vulnerability, bravery, and a commitment to delving into the unmapped domains of one's own essence. It is a journey that many, despite the initial charm, consider too intimidating to venture into. The intense presence of the chosen one, despite being a beacon of clarity, also illuminates the shadows that many would prefer to keep veiled, prompting a retreat to the comfort of more superficial bonds. This obstacle in discovering genuine and empathetic relationships causes the chosen ones to tread a delicate balance between seeking deep bonds and resigning themselves to the solitude that their own intensity often demands. Such solitude acts both as refuge and as a prison, bringing serenity in the face of the world's misunderstandings while resonating with the emptiness of unshared depths. The chosen ones thus become caretakers of a sacred seclusion, defenders of an essence so deep that few can grasp, let alone correspond to. Yet, within this challenge lies the magnificence of their journey. When these rare connections occur, they are sublime, forged from the fire of a mutually recognized depth and understanding, enduring against the storms of existence with a solidity as exceptional as it is infrequent. These few but significant bonds become the beacon guiding the steps of the chosen ones, reminding them that even in a universe often perceived as too shallow for its vastness, there are souls willing and able to plunge into the depths alongside them, embracing the intensity of their being in all its majestic and daunting magnificence. The fifth reason that traces the solitary path of the chosen ones is intrinsically linked to the domain of spiritual contention, a sphere where unseen conflicts unfold, with repercussions that transcend our mundane understanding. Such conflict does not unfold through metal armaments, but rather through more sublime forces of sincerity, integrity, and truth, essential attributes that the chosen ones manifest in their essence. Your presence in any environment not only occupies it, but also metamorphoses it, functioning as a catalyst that triggers spiritual alchemy, turning deceit into truth, darkness into light. While this transmutation represents a guide for those seeking the path of truth, it threatens the foundations upon which falsehood stands. The authenticity of the chosen ones acts as a mirror that reveals not only the exterior, but the deepest layers of those who cross their path. In this reflection, the disparities between who we truly are and who we pretend to be are unveiled, unmasking the facades behind which many hide. Such revelation is unsettling, as it confronts individuals with aspects of themselves they have diligently tried to conceal, not only from the gaze of others, but from their own self-examination. The discomfort stemming from this exposure often translates into evasion or, in certain circumstances, open confrontation, as individuals react to the threat their personal constructions face. Thus, this spiritual battle becomes a constant in the lives of the chosen ones, as their mere existence questions the status quo, calling for authenticity in a world that often settles for the superficial. They then become involuntary fighters of truth, dressed in the armor of the solidity of their beliefs and protected by the shield of their deep and irrefutable understanding of their mission. However, this struggle takes its toll, as the chosen one often finds themselves isolated on the battlefield, misunderstood by those whom they try to free from the shackles of artifice. The resistance and challenge they face are not merely responses to their aura, but evidence of the impact of their nature in shaking the illusions that sustain existences devoid of authenticity. Therefore, the chosen ones tread through a universe where genuineness is both their greatest gift and their heaviest burden. They are fighters in a spiritual confrontation as eternal as it is current, battling not for supremacy, but for the emancipation of the human spirit from the yoke of falsehood. The sixth reason that leads the chosen ones on a journey distant from collectivity stems from a pronounced mismatch with social standards and expectations. These singular beings often are the architects of their own universes, with values and visions that starkly contrast with the conventional. Such disparity is not a mere inclination, but a deep impulse, emerging from an intrinsic call to exist in sincerity and authenticity. The chosen ones, by their essence, are predisposed to confront, question, and transcend the ordinary, naturally positioning them in opposition to the prevailing culture. In usual social environments, where dialogues are trivialized, there is little to nurture their deeply rooted interests and convictions. The trivial chatter of daily life, focused on the fleeting and the material, lacks the substance necessary to feed souls in search of depth and meaning. This mismatch manifests not only in the intellectual realm, but tangibly, viscerally, as the chosen ones experience an almost physical discomfort when pressured to confine their vastness within the tiny structures of social expectations. It's akin to asking a colossus to bend to fit inside a tiny residence. Regardless of the colossus's willingness to adapt, perfect congruence will never be achieved, and discomfort is inevitable. As a result of this incongruity, the chosen ones often find themselves retreating to the refuge of solitude, or the company of a select group that also perceives what lies beyond the cloak of social conventions. In these spaces, they have the freedom to probe and manifest the fullness of their being without fear of judgment or misinterpretation. These are domains where discussions are profound. Authenticity is the currency, and the spirit is nourished by a feast of philosophical ponderings, spiritual inquiries, and an unwavering quest for truth. By embracing their disagreement with prevailing norms, the chosen ones demonstrate the courage to live in alignment with their inner truths, acting as guides for others who perceive the same dissonance but fear the path to the unexplored. Their existence is an affirmation of the strength of genuineness, a reminder that true acceptance is achieved not by adapting to the external world, but by fidelity to the internal universe. The seventh motivation for the predisposition of the chosen ones to solitude and the choice of limited company springs from their resolute summons to a higher calling. This summons is not merely a whisper, but a potent echo that vibrates in their essence, propelling them towards a destiny that transcends the contours of ordinary life. It is a mission laden with the gravity of the soul's purpose, an endeavor that demands fervent dedication to inner reflection, meditation, and continuous refinement of their unique abilities and understanding. This call to a grand destiny is as vital as the act of breathing, an inseparable component of their existence that cannot be neglected or underestimated. In the face of such a transcendent purpose, the noise of large congregations and the triviality of everyday conversations may not only seem devoid of interest, but also contrary to their profound destiny. Engaging in activities or discussions that do not align with their deep-rooted purpose is perceived as a waste of valuable time and energy, assets that are more wisely allocated to their missions. This mismatch transcends the intellectual, reaching the visceral, as the chosen ones experience an almost corporeal discomfort when pressured to narrow their breadth to the meager social expectations. It is akin to asking a titan to bend to fit within a tiny play space. Regardless of the titan's predisposition to adapt, congruence will never be adequate, and discomfort is guaranteed. As a repercussion of this incongruity, the chosen ones often find themselves withdrawn to the refuge of seclusion or the presence of a select group that has equally perceived what lies beyond the curtain of social conventions. In these domains of freedom, they can probe and manifest the integrity of their being without fear of censorship or misunderstanding. These are the realms where conversations are profound, where sincerity is valued, and where the spirit is enriched by a range of philosophical meditations, spiritual inquiries, and an unrelenting quest for truth. By embracing their discordance with social norms, the chosen ones embody the bravery to live in harmony with their intrinsic truths, acting as beacons for those who perceive the same mismatch but fear the path to the unknown. Their experience is an affirmation of the importance of genuineness, a reminder that authentic acceptance is found not by conforming to the external environment, but by honoring the inner universe. In the presence of such a sanctified purpose, the tumult of large congregations and the frivolity of everyday exchanges can not only appear devoid of interest, but diametrically opposed to their intrinsic destiny. Engaging in practices or dialogues that do not resonate in unison with their essential mission is akin to squandering time and vigor, assets that would be more judiciously employed in pursuit of their objectives. This incompatibility transcends the merely cognitive, reaching a deeply sensitive visceral level, as the chosen ones experience an almost corporeal dissonance when compelled to fit their immensity into the confined social expectations. Requesting a titan to bend to fit within the space of a diminutive dwelling is an apt analogy. Regardless of how predisposed the giant may be to adjust, congruence will never be perfect, and discomfort is inevitable. Because of this discrepancy, the chosen ones often retreat to the sanctuary of solitude or the company of a restricted few who have also seen beyond the veil of social conventions. In such spaces, they find the freedom to probe and express the breadth of their being without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. These are realms where dialogues are profoundly immersive, where genuineness is the currency and the spirit is sustained by a feast of philosophical reflections, spiritual inquiries, and an unrelenting pursuit of truth. By embracing their disagreement with social norms, the chosen ones manifest the courage to live in harmony with their inner truths, acting as beacons for others who perceive the same disparity but hesitate before the journey into the unknown. Their existence is a testament to the potency of authenticity, a memorandum that genuine belonging is attained not by conforming to the external world, but by venerating the inner universe. Thus, even walking in solitude, the chosen ones continue with the conviction that each step is an element of a cosmic dance, a fabric adorned with the filaments of their distinct identity. And in solitude, they discover a profound connection with the self, with the divine, and with those rare, audacious spirits who have chosen to share their journeys. Therefore, the Odyssey of the Chosen Ones serves as a reminder to all of us, whether or not we are part of this group, to cultivate our authenticity, respect our uniqueness, and follow our own paths, even if they lead us through solitude. For it is often in seclusion that we discover the true companionship of our soul and align ourselves with the constellations that guide our destinies.